Welcome to our continuing YouTube video series on employment law. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular video we're going to be discussing the fact that many fired oil and gas workers have been underpaid. So as an oil and gas worker who's employed by a large petroleum company, working previously, getting well paid, knowing what you do, especially if you're working on an hourly basis, but you're not necessarily all attuned to all the intricacies of the law and employment statutes and pay arrangements and this and that and all these technical aspects. Your whole idea has been, and properly is, on doing a good job, working hard, and making an honest and decent living. And then all of a sudden you're fired. You're terminated without cause. You're permanently laid off. Issues come up in the oil and gas market. Changes abound. Restructuring, as they often call it. Focusing on different areas, you name it. But you find yourself having worked really hard for a company, and then all of a sudden finding yourself pushed out the door. And here's your package. Well, first of all, oftentimes you look at the package, it seems fine. You go maybe bid on the internet, you talk to a lawyer or two, still seems fine. Doesn't seem reasonable. Fact of the matter is, what we've seen personally is that it might not necessarily be fine. You really should get, if you've gone to another lawyer, get a second opinion, a third opinion. If you haven't gone to a lawyer, talk to ourselves. We'll give you our honest perspective on it. We want to assure you that we can't make any assurances as to what you should be getting, but I can tell you something. Oftentimes, from what I've seen, is that there are things that are missed, blatantly missed. We miss things, in my own professional opinion. It's easy enough to miss things, but when you're focused specifically on certain things, and you're looking at it from the legal perspective, the hope is that you're going to identify and catch almost everything that needs to be caught. And that's what we aim to do. And that's not really what your job is. It should be what the other jobs of the lawyers are. But it's not necessarily the job of your employer to do it, technically. Technically, they are supposed to do that. Technically, they have a duty to you to pay you what you deserve. But do you really think every employer out there is wanting to pay everybody what they deserve? The only person they ultimately believe should get paid what they deserve is themselves. You know that, I know that. So if they miss things, they underpay you, that's all fine and dandy until they get caught. And what our job is to catch them, to find out what you've been underpaid, and where possible, ensure that you get paid, and your net result, not the number that shows up before the cost, but your net result is that much greater. Because legal fees and court costs and time without pay are all issues. They are all issues of serious consideration. So what do you need to do? What should you do? Like recommended? What we do is suggest that you should talk to knowledgeable legal counsel, such as ourselves, who can assess what the situation is pertaining to your package and what you are paid, and if you are underpaid, and what you should be paid. And then you make the decision in concert with ourselves as lawyers, or whomever it is who's your lawyer, and make a proper determination. There's no certainty with all these things, but doesn't it make a lot more sense if you've got an assessment as to what might be available to yourself and how you might achieve that? Because oftentimes, just based on our analysis, too many people are leaving too much on the table. They might not see it when they look at it. Other lawyers might not necessarily see it. Even at times, we might not see it. The key is that you need to have someone take a look at it. And then you make the determination. If the lawyer says to you, what we see is there's about 20% more you can get, 30% more you can get, and then here's the approach that we're going to take, and this is what the issues are. There are risks, naturally. How you're going to mitigate the risks, which is always important, so the risks don't come back to hurt you too much. But how do you mitigate them? How do you deal with them? Well, then you got to consider all those aspects, and you should. And as we do it, we'll take the look. We won't give you all our trade secrets, but we'll undertake our assessment and tell you what we honestly think is the position going forward for yourself and how we might achieve it. And if it works for yourselves, we hope we move forward with yourselves. But there are opportunities that are available to yourself. And this is, remember, you're in the oil and gas business. You work in the business. You're employed in the business. That's what you have focused on. We're lawyers. It's our responsibility to work on the legal side. We sit in front of computers, sit in desks. We don't do the stuff that you guys do. The people who work in the oil patch, they have a skill set that's very particular to that. I'm not claiming I know how to do it. I don't want to claim I know how to do it. Same way, when it comes to these matters, you need to get somebody who wants to be prepared to analyze it. And we're more than happy if we give you our assessment and you go to another lawyer and say, what is your assessment of this? And then you make your choice based on that. And you decide who is going to give you the best probability of getting the result you're looking for. That's all we can offer you. We can be your first opinion, we can be your second opinion, your third opinion. But really you need to get an opinion and get an honest and frank answer, both as to what the potential is, what the net that they're looking to achieve and how they're looking to achieve it, and what the risks are. Because there's no certainty in these matters. So there's always risk. Everything's determined by the specifics of the particular case. Not all cases are the same. So you might go up and you might read about this person getting this much money or that much money. But the thing is, everything is very highly specific. There's so many little things that go into the things, number one, from a factual basis, but then also from who you're dealing with. Because some employers are going to understand they've got an obligation, they'll take care of it, they'll settle early on. Other ones, they're going to force you to play hardball. And what's the implications of hardball? What's the additional cost to yourself? What is the delay in getting your money from that? How are you going to proceed with it? Those are all serious and appropriate questions you need to ask. And that's what your lawyer needs to be going with you, because as we said from the beginning, your work is in the oil and gas sector, in the oil patch, out there in the field. Our work is in front of the computer with the law and then with the court. So each person has their own role. And we take our role seriously, and it is our objective to try to find out from our assessment where there might be angles to get yourself more money. And if there isn't more money really to be gained, or the money that is limited, that's all we can offer up. As such, we welcome you to contact ourselves and proceed with our review process. Our contact information is available underneath this at our website and underneath this YouTube video. And we more than welcome the opportunity to see if there is an element where we can help you on with respect to your termination package and the net payout that you are going to possibly be able to attain, and be one of the sources of a possible estimate as to what you might have coming to yourself. And as always, we welcome you pursuing other opinions from other lawyers, because they might have other angles. We have our own angles as to what we think we can pursue. And we thank you once again for viewing our YouTube video.